Hello everyone, and welcome back to Realms and Roleplay Sovereign of Death. Where we last left off, our heroes had just defeated the villainous half-dragon and some of her skeleton army. However, their victory was short-lived because a dangerous-looking succubus riding a very ominous-looking black dragon landed in front of the knife museum where they currently are. So you all are not in combat at the moment, but the succubus is outside, and it seems like they haven't noticed you yet. So you can hear them calling out when in Draconic, saying, General Runewelder, what happened? Where are you?
I want to call back in Draconic in my best impression of the half-dragon, and I want to say, stay back. There's fire. There was fire in here, and the building is unstable.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
Yeah, boy. 18.
Awesome. So you hear them say, oh, you know, I hate fires. You know, I mean, like, we're all infernal and stuff, so it doesn't really hurt me, but it gets my clothes all...
And I want to just gesture to our team to, like, run. Just gesture to our team to, like, run.
So we're running through the garage, correct?
We're gonna run out?
Are we gonna...
What if
No, like, the back entrance. She's at the front.
there's a way to get out the back?
Yes, the garage.
The garage we came in.
Okay. It's open? Well, there was a lot of destruction.
Yeah, no, we can still get out.
One quick question before we do this. So before you had mentioned it sounded like that she had crashed through the building and was in front of us, so it's actually, she's in front of the building. We're
That's
good.
correct, yes.
Okay, thank heavens.
So
Yeah.
she's not in the building.
Okay, let's, while Wynn is holding it off, I'm going to split now. Split out the back.
Yeah, we're all gonna sneak out.
So Aria, you were actually... No, you burst through the wall, right?
I burst through
That's
the wall.
right, so you
I
are...
do feel like there's also now a big hole in the front.
Yes.
Like maybe she can
Which
see
helps sell the idea though, because there's a lot of shelves in the knife museum. There's a lot of...
I feel like we were able to hurry out of sight when we heard the loud boom. It's fine.
She did not roll very high on her perception check, so was unable to see you. So you all scurry out of the back. As you start to leave, you see that Keef is kneeling by his parents' body, and he's sort of hanging his head, looking pretty defeated. And he says something in... does anybody speak Orc? Okay, he says something that you all don't understand, and then wipes his tears away and stands up and follows behind you out of the knife museum.
I reach back and grab his hand.
You all are holding hands together as you run out of the knife museum. So the dragon and succubus are in front of the museum. What would you like to do now that you've made it out?
I think we need to head to the docks, right? Because that was our still
Yeah.
the plan.
Yeah.
Through the dunes.
Awesome.
Martin, should you burn down the rest of the knife museum so they don't get the weapons in there?
As much as it might surprise you, as much as I am a creature of chaos, I don't have anything that would... So wait, what were you trying to make sure they don't get?
They wanted weapons that Keef's parents had promised them.
Although I would imagine it isn't
There's-
the weapons that are actually in the knife museum.
Yeah, they were gonna
So-
provide other weapons, I thought.
Those granted could still be very annoying if they have them all.
So
There is-
as you all are talking, Keef has a torch and he throws it into the knife museum, and he's like, "They won't have what's my family's. Let's
Perfect.
go."
Did you need anything in there, Keef? Because we just ran out of there.
He looks at Madie and he's like, "I have everything I need."
Aww.
It's very cute.
Go.
Presumptuous but cute.
Okay, let's get Tony. Don't forget, we can't forget the pony. I grabbed
Pony was
Tony's
waiting outside.
bridle. He was.
Awesome.
We left
So
him outside.
Tony, you grab Tony, and she is quietly neighing, and you all start. Let's deal with it. That's my horse neigh. So you start walking towards the docks. Could you make a perception check? Whoever would like to.
Can multiple people do this perception check?
Absolutely.
15.
Okay.
Nat 20!
Martin!
Awesome. So as you're walking on a nat 20, here it is, sorry. So you notice Gravis, Faruna, Zymes, and are all being led through the street toward where the Hero Academy is.
So what if we followed them?
Well, if we followed them, we wouldn't. I care about these people, but let's be honest. We got Keef. We got Keef. We went through hell to get Keef. We can, especially if we. I'm sure there's some deep conspiracy underneath all of this. If we unravel that, then all these people will be safe eventually. But we have to make sure that we're okay first.
We have to get to Wen's parents.
Is there anyone else besides the skeletons in the street with these people?
So they're walking down the middle of the street. So there are other soldiers, like skeletons, other scarecrows, and you see the dragon and the succubus are still in the street over there.
Okay. I was gonna do some shenanigans, but I don't want to get caught.
You can always try. It's up to you.
I think, Keef, I'm so sorry we're going to have to abandon this town, but I promise, as soon as I figure what's going on with my parents, we will come back and liberate it.
We can't fight them all by ourselves.
Okay. Are we all good with this, Glee?
The docks, then.
The docks.
To the docks.
Awesome. So you head to the docks. Once you arrive there, you see that there are 2 skeletons standing guard. And Aria, could you make a perception check?
12.
Awesome. You see that there are skeletons guarding the docks. And as you all get a little closer, the skeletons are sliced in half, and you see Anne Marrow Thief is there, and she looks badly hurt. There's blood streaming down her face, and she has some wounds on her side. It looks like she got stabbed a few times. And she sees you all and kind of motions you over.
I will give her my health potion, as we are monks of the same order.
Awesome. So, just a side note, keep track of how many of those y'all have, because I don't remember. So you give her this health potion.
Oh no, it would be a shame if someone forgot how many health potions we have.
Oh no.
What if it's Martin the Money and Health Wizard?
Nice try.
That'll be my next character, Martin the Health Wizard. We have no money. We're destitute. But gosh, do we have potions.
He's Martin's brother. Martin's a family name.
So you give Anne the health potion, and she says, thank you. I heard that our master is in Broken Rock. I was going to try to steal a boat and go meet him there. Hopefully we can get back here with some kind of army and take the city back.
That is conveniently similar to our plan. Yes.
Oh, we
should do that.
Great. I'm glad we're of the same mind. So she takes the health potion, and you all see that there are some small rowboats, and there is a larger ship. So there are 6 of you. So if you wanted, you
could... And 2 Warforged and a pony.
That's true. So if you wanted, you could try to take the ship, or you could take this.
What is the... Dear Dungeon Master, tell us why trying to take the ship would be a bad idea.
I don't think there is such thing as a bad idea. I think that there are only these.
See, that's a
big ship.
Now,
can we look at the ship and see what we can tell about it?
Is it guarded?
No, there's nobody guarding the ship. You can make a investigation check to see if there's something mysterious about the ship.
I have +2 investigation. 6
I also
total.
have +2 investigation.
I got a 6.
Okay.
I got an 18.
Awesome.
Oh, hey!
So, Martin, you remember from when you were going through the registry in the mayor's office? This is his personal ship. So you feel like if you took the larger ship, maybe you could try to pass off as him.
And
Listen, I can be him, and also I know how to forge papers, so if I need to sign anything, we can do that.
I look over at Wynn and I'd say, hey, Wynn, you want to board the ship as its rightful owner?
I hate wearing his face, but then I change into the mayor.
We board his ship.
Awesome. So as
He was a criminal. I mean, he was in prison the last time we saw him, but okay.
who knows where he is now? So you board Alistair's ship, and you all set sail for Broken.
I want to check below the decks first. I want to make sure there's no dangers that can occur mid-course.
Okay.
I'm not saying I have trust issues. I'm just saying that I want to exhaustively examine every inch of this ship as we start to set sail.
Awesome. Go ahead and give
Instantly
me...
dive below decks and look for suspicious things.
Give me a investigation.
That is a 13.
You find Fee, the merchant, hiding in one of the barrels beneath deck.
Fee, would you like to explain yourself?
Oh, yeah. I thought this was the safest place. So there were a bunch of monsters, and I hid in here. Don't tell anybody I'm in here, though. It'll be our little secret.
Are you a criminal?
Well, I don't think so. That's kind of a loaded question. What'd you
That's
get?
an insight at 15.
You feel like that maybe Fee has done some type of tax evasion or some kind of small crimes in the past, but you don't think that Fee is a threat to you.
I'll say. All right, then I will see you later.
He kind of winks at you.
Feels weird that he's hiding when we're all escaping from the town that just got run over.
You leave him there?
I close the barrel and I say nothing.
All right.
Awesome. So as you're sailing to Broken Rock, you all can have a long rest. So what that means is you return to full health, and your spell slots, if you exhausted any, are replenished. And you have a little bit of downtime as you're traveling on the ship. So Aria kind of comes up to you and she's like, hey, can we talk in private?
Yeah.
Okay. So the two of you kind of go somewhere alone, and she says, look, I know that we were never really friends, and I mean, part of that's maybe my fault, but you're the only person that I feel like I can trust now.
You can trust my companions. I have been on many, many adventures.
I don't know, it's just, this is really sensitive information.
I will keep it as my own for now.
She takes out a sheet of paper and hands it to you, and it's a decree from the Leadership Council. It has the signature of all of the leaders from each city in Yashan, except from Alistair. And in the decree, it says that at the next leadership summit, each city will give soldiers to build an army against the army of the dead. So she hands that to you, and she says, I feel like those in charge knew that this was going to happen, but they didn't tell anyone. And I don't know, I was thinking that maybe I could go to the leadership summit on the behalf of Stone Snarry. Xalavier was going to come with me, but I wasn't able to save her. I feel like I have to do this for her.
To dedicate Stone Snarry soldiers to a cause.
She takes you by the hands and she says, Aria, please. Xalavier is my best friend, and her and everyone in Stone Snarry are in trouble. We have to help them. I need your help.
You should go. Then you should tell them what happened at Stone Starry.
I'm afraid that if I go by myself, I won't be strong enough. I was hoping that you would come with me.
I cannot go where my team doesn't go.
I mean, once we get to Broken Rock, we can get a ferry to Zandara, and we'll go to the summit and come right back.
I will think on this.
Okay, but please, promise me you won't tell anyone. I don't know who I can trust.
For now, your secrets are safe.
She kind of nods and walks away. So that happens, and then Madie, you get a knock on your door, and it's Keef. He avoids eye contact with you. He has like a little makeshift bandage where he was stabbed, and he says, "Hey, I'm sorry to bother you. I don't know. I feel like everything's falling apart, and I just didn't want to be alone right now."
You're not bothering me. You can come in if you want, or we can go for a walk.
Do you want to go for a walk?
Yeah.
Awesome. So the two of you start walking around the ship, and as you're walking around, Keef confides in you, and he says, "I don't know if this is a fight that we can win. We almost died back there. My parents did die. I'm afraid."
It's okay, so am I. I mean, I think that's what this is all about. It's like you have to keep fighting even if you're afraid. That's what bravery is, right?
So as you say that, you two are on the deck of the ship and the wind's blowing. He takes your hand and he's like, "Yeah, I guess you're right. We can't give up now." He pauses for a moment and then he's like, "This is some second date, huh?"
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, and I want you to tell me the truth. When you went to decide whether you were going to come with us or not, what had you decided?
Well, I knew that my parents were in trouble, so I was going to tell you that I couldn't leave yet, but I just didn't know how to say it.
It's okay. And your parents clearly were in trouble. So I want you to know that it's okay. There's no pressure. Just, it's okay.
He takes your hands and he says, "Thank you. I appreciate you being so understanding." And the two of you spend a really nice, lovely evening together. What are the rest of you up to as you travel to Broken Rock?
No, go Martin.
I was just gonna say, I think I'm spending quite a bit of. I sense a similar chaotic soul in Fee, who's also quite a magical figure. So I'm spending a lot of time below decks, sort of like making sort of excuses, like, "Oh, I have to polish the bilge rattle," and I go downstairs. I'm just playing cards or chess with Fee.
Awesome. So you all are playing cards, and he slams his hands on the table, and he's like, "You cheated!"
Yes.
Well, I can cheat too. And he like flips the table over. He's like, he's probably like about 14 or 15 years old. And you see he kind of looks at you
Prodigy.
And gets really close. And he's like, "You're magic."
Also, yes.
Do you mind if I find out what kind of magic?
Sure.
So he puts his hand on your shoulder, and you feel this like light energy kind of flowing through you. And he says, "Were you cursed?"
It's weird now that you mention it. I don't remember. I think the earliest thing I remember is waking up in a pile of money. That's kind of my natural state.
So you've always been in piles of money. What about before that?
So I must have been a baby at some point. Because I feel like vomiting was something I used to do quite a bit.
I vomit all the time. I mean, when I was a baby, not right now. Well, I mean, sometimes when I drink too much, but not all the time.
I get you, Doc. Yeah, I can't remember anything before that, and by then I was judging by my general state of growth. I think I was a teenager. Huh.
He pulls out his hand and materializes a coin. Well, we'll find out together who you really are, Martin Money. And he flicks it in your face.
I close my hand over the coin. I say, absolutely not. We're not going to do that at all. We're going to bury this deep, deep inside of us until we can't ignore it anymore, because that's how you deal with problems. You're going to learn that as you grow up.
Is that what adulting is? You just don't solve your problems?
That's what some adults do.
He materializes some ale, and he's like, I like being an adult. And, like, starts dancing around the room. What does Wayne get up to?
So as soon as she figures out that they didn't actually need to be ousted to steal the boat, she reverts back to her normal form. And not her elf form, because she's already sort of just shown all these people she was a changeling, so she doesn't really have to pretend on the open seas.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good for her. It's fun for her.
So when you're at the helm of the ship in your normal form and your true form, and you feel free out here amongst the ocean breeze on the open sea, and you're sailing toward your home, you can feel the weight of the letter from your parents, from your mother, in your pocket. Is there anything else anybody would like to do before you arrive at your destination?
I'd like to talk to Wynn. Oh, sorry.
I was going to check to see if we were followed.
Yeah, sure.
That's wise.
Better,
Go ahead and roll a perception check and then roll an investigation check.
Okay. So that's 12 on perception.
Okay.
And 13 on investigation.
Awesome. So,
super mediocre.
that's okay. So you do some investigating, and you take flight and sort of just scan the area. And as you take off from the boat, you notice that there aren't any other ships or creatures or vessels or anything following you. But as you're in the air, you have a hard time seeing the boat again. But you can see the trail in the water where it's moving, so you land back on the boat, and you feel like the boat has some sort of cloak or protection spell around it. Ooh. So you feel like you all are safe at the moment.
Magic boat. Magic
quick question. When you take off from the ship, do you do it from the highest point on it?
Probably not.
Okay, so, because if you did, that would be an Aarakocra's nest.
So that's why I didn't do it. I think I specifically saw that and went, nope, I'm just going to take off from the deck.
Martin's just like, you want to take off from up there? You want to take off from up there? That would be fun from the crow's nest. Just no specific reason, but I think you should.
So, Martin, you wanted to talk to Wynn?
Yes, I did. I come up to Wynn at one point when you're feeling very free, standing on the helm of the ship. You're fully in your managerial capacities, fully yourself. I'm like, Wynn, I don't always listen when you tell me to do things, but can I ask you for advice?
Yeah, always.
So as you can see, we are surrounded by water, and there's no place for me to spend my money. Yeah.
Do you need to spend it, or do you just need to make it?
I don't know if I haven't really considered how that works, but I don't think I make it. I think it's just there, but I need to get rid of it in some capacity.
I see. You need to manifest the money, or bad things will happen to you.
I need a manager for my money.
Great, excellent.
So,
I, of course, require a managerial fee that you will have to pay me daily.
yes.
And you're also going to have to pay these people who have been helping us to... It's not pilot a ship, but I'm not sure I know the right word.
Sail?
There we are. Obviously, since they are working like a crew, they deserve crew wages.
Yeah. Yes. They do.
Mm-hmm. Which is the legitimate exchange of money for services.
Mm-hmm.
And from what we've been able to work out about your specific situation, seems like a good enough literal use of purchasing power.
So I just take the money that I have and I distribute it.
Yes.
To people almost according to their need.
Yes, yeah. Well, and in exchange for goods and services.
I'm gonna have to, yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like a, so what's your initial fee?
Oh, I require 5 gold pieces a day.
I think you're at least a 7.
Oh, thank you.
And I hand over 7 gold coins and I happily go off across the ship to start giving my teammates money every day so I don't die.
We're stoked on
And
it.
I've flipped to the back of the notebook I have, and I've now made like a ledger that I can like tell Martin what to give everyone every day.
Awesome.
He will forget.
So
I get a special little color-coded tab for me. That's
You have your own part of the file system.
Do you and Anne just compare notes?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I'm taking some, like, organizational tips from Anne. I'm showing her, like, my special highlighters.
absolutely.
No.
We can end the boat thing now. The boat seems to have a lot of pun opportunities. We need to get off the boat.
So, you all are pulling you're docking at the port of Broken Rock. You all have been here before, I believe, and things seem to be a bit different this time. When you dock, you're met by a royal guard, and they are all these giant fish people wearing plated armor that has the Broken Rock crest on it. They also are all wearing a cape, and you see that one of them is more decorated than the others with a half cape and wearing a helmet. And you can gather that that one is probably the captain of the guard. They all salute you as you dock and are sort of lining the dock for you as you are ready to get off.
I do have a quick question. Broken Rock has an elected leader, so are the royal guards, like, secret service, or has a monarchy sort of been established in the time I've been away?
What worries me is that they might be a member of the Destined, which would be, because you kept motioning towards here, Carmen, but you never said what was here, and I'm just thinking, is that a pin? It's a pin, isn't it?
It's like, I was thinking the thing that holds the cape together, like the little clasp.
The epaulets.
The epaulets. Like,
Yes.
but the epaulets are not destined pins. You don't see any destined pins on these folks.
Listen.
Were they expecting us?
They're fish people. We're finished, Martin.
Oh my gosh.
I high five. Can I roll a high five, maybe?
Sure. So to answer,
I'm not 20.
y'all have the most epic high five. You gain +2 friendship. So
Really grinds my gills.
oh my gosh. So Wynn, to answer your question about the power structure, so there is an elected official in Broken Rock. The last time you were here, it was somewhat a Triton, which is like a Atlantean essentially, but they're like a fish person also. And named Churlish Swan Virgil. And you know that Churlish is a very posh gentleman, and he has a flair for the theatrics. So, yeah, that's what you remember from the last time you were here.
Okay, so this is not unusual.
It's not unusual. However, these guards look different than the ones that you saw the last time you were here. As in what they're wearing, not the type of creatures that they're.
Okay. Quick huddle before we all get off the ship.
If you're asking us what you should turn into before you go down there, I vote
Yeah.
Skeleton Minotaur.
Okay. One move for Skeleton Minotaur. Well, I mean, this is my home. Normally, I wouldn't change into anyone, but they're wearing different outfits than I have seen normally. So I'm wondering if there has been some weird exchange of power, and if they're saluting this ship, they might know it belongs to Alistair.
Well, we can just ask Anne, right? When did you leave Broken Rock?
Anne?
Right.
Carmen forgot he was Anne.
Sorry. You say Anne when you leave Broken Rock, and she's like, "Oh, I left a few months ago. I was sent on a quest by our master. I'm not able to speak about what, but it was a few months ago."
Do you trust this guard?
Well, Representative Swan Virgil has taken it upon himself to ensure that the guard reflect his vibrant personality. I don't think that it's much of anything other than appearance.
Okay, so me it is.
All right,
Should we go greet them?
if you want.
We're gonna stay on the ship for the remainder of this game. We live here. Nothing bad happens on this ship. We can just live
We
on
live
this
here
ship.
now. It's an invisible ship. I have a question. Does it become uninvisible when we go to dock it? I have a lot of questions about the invisible ship thing.
Yeah, sure.
We see it when we first saw it.
So, first of all, I never said it was invisible. But you feel like when the ship is sailing, there is some type of magic that makes it harder to see.
Cloaking device. I got it.
Potentially.
How far off from port do we have to be counting as sailing?
You have to be in motion on open water.
Okay.
Okay.
As somebody writes that down and holds me to my world building later. Oh, there it is. I was looking for the creatures. So anyway,
Okay, yeah, the stats, like how many attacks they have.
so as you get off the boat, one of the guard captain has a trident that he's holding, and he walks over to Wynn, and he kneels down on one knee, and he says, "Lady Snapdragon, your presence is requested at the Capitol building."
Oh, arise?
He
That's
stands
new.
up straight. A lot has changed in your absence.
Clearly. Yes, please. Is my mother there? I need to find her right away.
Yes, she awaits your arrival.
Excellent. Take us there right away.
Lady Snapdragon. Well, then we're never gonna let you live this down.
Yeah, it is extremely weird since Snapdragon was my fake name.
So you all start to head up towards the royal palace, and as you do, the guard escorts you there. So you're
Nice.
walking through the city, and there are buildings and houses made out of bamboo. You see that there are also some made out of clay. You see that there are troglodytes and ogres. There are some dragonborn, a couple of unicorns. You see all various types and shapes of monsters just going about their daily life. Some of them are carrying groceries, others are having a beer, chatting in the street as you head towards the Capitol building.
I miss Broken Rock.
I know. It's like a weight has been like lifted off of Wynn's shoulders. Like normally she's confident, but there's like a different aspect to her. Like she's home and she like belongs here. Also, she doesn't look like an elf.
So yeah, you're in your true form amongst your people, and as you're walking through the city, there is the royal guard who are escorting you. And once you arrive at the palace, the guard captain stops and he says, "Your mother would like to speak with you alone. We'll take your friends to their quarters, if it's all the same to you, lady."
Not a prison, right?
No, we have rooms prepared for each of your friends, and they will be able to explore the palace at their leisure.
Do I feel like he's being honest?
Yeah, you can make an insight check.
So when you say each of her friends, how many did you think were coming? I'm just curious how many, just purely scholarly curiosity as to how many rooms we have.
The guard captain looks confused, and he's like, "Well, we were told to prepare the quarters for the group known as Glee, so the members of the organization."
Cool.
You see Anne's in the back. She's like, "Whatever." On your 14 on insight, you feel like this guard is following orders, and so he's not lying to you as far as he knows.
Okay. Please make sure Anne and Keef have their own rooms as well.
I've devolved into coughing.
Keef can have his own room, but whether or not he wishes to hang out with Madie in her room, that should be allowed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but also you saying this very, very loudly is making it quite awkward, Wynn.
Madie just did a very obvious... It doesn't matter, I need to see my mom.
Awesome. So you head off with the guard captain. The rest of you are taken to your rooms. We're gonna go to everybody's room, and then we'll cut back to Madie and your mom. So Martin, you go to your room, and it is like a tavern, except everything in the tavern has some sort of money or gold drapery around it. So it's like everything's covered in some type of money or golden cloth. The guard says, "Sire, I heard that you were quite fond of wealth and material possessions. We tried our best to make the room accommodating."
I am cursed with a deep knowledge and obsession with money and material possessions. This is the most terrifying possible room you could put me inside of. I'm surrounded by money. Do you know that I'm not already? I'm surrounded by money all the time. All the time.
He bows and he's like, "I'm glad this pleases you, sire." And he starts to walk away. Fee appears
breathing very hard, just like
in your room. Fee appears in your room, and he's like, "Oh, hey, nice digs."
I will pay you 30 coins to take as much of this gold coins and frippery and stuff it in a corner.
He snaps his fingers, and all the gold is in the corner, and it's just a normal room. Madie, you get to your room, and they open the doors, and it's a very nice, well-decorated room. There's a section where you have a large mirror, a desk, and standing in the corner by the window, you see both of your parents waiting there to greet you. And they turn around, and your dad's like, "Oh, there she is. Oh, come give me a hug." And he holds out his arms to give you a big old hug.
Like her Minotaur parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hug my dad and I say, "Is this real? I'm afraid that this is not real. Tell me something. Tell me something that only I would know."
You're a blacksmith and you learned everything you know from your old man. And he
tell me something only you would know. Something else. Everybody knows that.
Your mom's like, well, you have that pimple on your right butt cheek, and every time you scratch it, it makes that really weird wiggly sound that you don't like.
Yeah, that's true.
You see the guards like kind of like and snickering.
I put my arms around both of my parents and hug them tight.
Your parents and you share a warm embrace.
I call back to the guard. I say, hey, can you please make sure that my pony gets to the stables?
Yes, lady. We will make sure it is done. And he walks away. So, Aria, you get to your quarters, and it is a pretty simple room. There is a perch pretty up high that has a bed in the perch. And there are some pretty big open windows that you could easily fly in and out of. And the guard looks at you and says, I hope that is to your liking, my lady. Let us know if there's anything else we can get for you. And he walks away.
Fly to the bed and take a nap.
Awesome. So you go to rest. When you walk into the council room, and you see your mother, Mithrika, there. And she is wearing a long purple dress that has a golden sash across it. And she has a pin that's the Broken Rock emblem on it. And she's standing there waiting for you as you walk in.
I just run to her and like jump into her arms.
So you run and jump, and she twirls you around, and she's like, oh, my precious baby girl. I'm so happy that you're home.
I mean, I wish it was under better circumstances. What is happening? And I like pull away.
She sits down and says, your father was taken about 3 weeks ago, and we've been searching all over the island, but we can't find him. We believe that there are some insurgents, and this is their doing.
What could they possibly be rising up against? Broken Rock is literally the most open place to be.
Well, Representative Swan Virgil has made some changes recently, allowing members of our society to... what's the word? I guess it's causing people to feel unrest. They believe that Representative Swan Virgil is taking too much power into his own hands.
And so you and Father rose up against him?
No, I believe in Representative Swan Virgil, and I work here with him every day. He's been helping us search for your father. He's a good man.
Okay. Why did the guard... It seems a little bit more, monarchistic than the last time I was here. I literally got called Lady Snapdragon, which is, well, I assume you told them to look out for my elf visage,
yes,
not me.
I was not sure which face you would be wearing to see me today, but nonetheless, I'm happy to see that you are accepting yourself for who you really are.
I mean, always here. It's just the rest of the world that's the problem.
Yes, well, you spend most of your time in the rest of the world, dear.
Daughter.
Mom burn!
The guard captain walks up and he's like, lady, I have news from the guard. It seems that the insurgents have found a way to capture one of the nearby civilizations. We believe they could be using this as their base camp.
And you think maybe my dad is there, even though you have not found him for several weeks?
We believe that it's unlikely that your father is there, lady, but it's something that we need to deal with.
Okay. Mom, I'm here, and you know my party is very capable. We're gonna help however we can, obviously, but I think there's a lot of stuff we still need to know. One, I need my team here because even though I recognize that I'm usually the one who has the best handle on what's going on, they do provide valuable insight. And they're going to be useful for this.
Aw, you're gonna make us blush.
So your mom smiles at you, and she's like, well then, I'll arrange for us to have a war council meeting with
Great.
everyone involved, and we'll explain the situation to you further. Why don't you head to your quarters and just relax for tonight? We'll figure this out and find your father.
Mom, with all due respect, I've been relaxed. The last time I was relaxed, I was a baby. There's no relaxing anymore. I just came from Stone Snarry, which is attacked by some undead skeleton monsters. We fled in a ship belonging to some disgraced politician, being chased by a dragon, to come here because my father has been kidnapped for literal weeks. I don't think I can just go take a nap.
So as you say that, the guard captain looks like shocked, and he's like, Stone Snarry has fallen?
Oh yeah, for sure, for real, yeah.
Your mom is like, what? This is, you just said so many things, dear. This is a lot to unpack. We have to tell Representative Swan Virgil right away.
Great. Yes, no naps for anyone.
So your mom takes your hand and starts to rush you toward Representative Swan Virgil's office. As you all are being whisked away, Madie, there's a knock at your door. Your father, Krondok, says to you, well, dear, I'm so happy that you're here, but I have a lot of stuff to take care of. Why don't you spend some time with your mother and you and I can catch up later?
Dad, what do you have to go take care of? I mean, why are you here, actually? I should have asked you this before, but I was just real excited.
Well, your mother speaks up and she says, we are actually members of the Royal Guard now. Your father...
Wait. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Your father and I joined with Representative Swan Virgil because we heard threat of a potential invading army. And we're not going to let them destroy the peace that we've created here.
Okay, so you, write me letters, all the time. You didn't think to mention this.
Well, you see, dear, we thought this was, something you say over a beer and not really in a letter, so we didn't want to scare you. You see your dad's getting, really bashful and doesn't really know what to do with his hands.
Okay. I need a quick pause. I just need to check something real quick. Because I have some questions here. I don't have all my notes.
Your parents were not members of the Guard before you left, but now they are.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. It's really good. My character has been through a lot. It's been traumatic. She doesn't really... Okay, well, cool. So, Dad, what kind of business do you have to go take care of? I'm curious.
Well, we got news that there are some insurgents in a nearby village, so some of the guard and myself are going to go investigate.
Okay. Is there a possibility you could, opt out of that so we can all, talk more?
Your mom kind of chimes in and she's like, sweetie, your father is going to be promoted to general pretty soon. It's important that he's there.
Okay. Well, congrats, Dad. That's great.
He puts his hand on your back and he's like, this doesn't mean that I'm not happy to see you, sweetie. It just means that we'll have to spend time together a little later.
Okay. That's cool.
He tries to give you a hug. Do you hug him back?
Oh yeah, I'll go back.
Opposed grapple.
Awesome. You have a hug with your dad, and he gives you a kiss on the cheek, and then he leaves the room.
Careful, Dad.
Oh, I'm always careful. And he kind of stumbles off out of the room. So you get to spend some time with your mom, and we are going to cut to Wynn and your mother. You go into Representative Swan Virgil's office, and while you're in there, as soon as you walk in with your mom, you see that he's talking to a dragonborn, The Dragonborn's like 6'7". He's really broad shoulders. He's wearing a really dark cloak. He's a white dragon and has hair and like tendrils that roll down and hang like dreadlocks. He has horns that sort of go back at the top of his head. And as they notice you, the Dragonborn kind of nods to Representative Swan Virgil, and they both turn to face you all. And you see Churlish is a turquoised trident who is wearing a royal purple robe with a turquoise half cape, and he has a destined pin on one side, and he has the seal of Broken Rock on the other. And he holds his arms out, extended to you, and he's like, Wynn, welcome home.
Wynn gets a weird thought, and she's like, Martin would want to tackle this guy. He opens his arms, and I very clearly like fold mine, like I'm not receptive to this, but I'm not like saying anything rude.
Awesome.
But I go, Representative Swan Virgil.
Your mother kind of throws you a look, and then she says, Representative Swan Virgil, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we've just heard news. My daughter tells me that Stone Snarry has fallen. And you see the Dragonborn sort of shares a look with Representative Swan Virgil, and
Do they both have destined pins?
No. The Dragonborn doesn't have any pins, Broken Rock or Destined. So Swan Virgil pauses for a moment and looks at you and says, this is most unfortunate, but action will be taken to take the city back. Thankfully, I'm glad you were able to escape with your lives. Who were the ones that attacked the city?
See, this is the awkward part, Swan Virgil, because they were being led by a Destined.
You see he takes a step back and sits in a chair. And you notice that his chair is fashioned like a throne.
I had the feeling that would be what it was.
He sits in his chair and he sort of pauses for a moment and he says, well, we've known for some time that there are those with ambition within the Destined ranks.
Sure, but in my experience, every Destined member that I've come in contact with is part of their own splintered faction, one of whom cut out a college student's heart and tried to make some sort of death magic with it, the other of whom then did try to arrest him, and then a third faction did come on the back of a giant black dragon and raise the city of Stone Snarry.
As you say the dragon part, you see the Dragonborn. It's like, there was a dragon there?
Yes, in fact, there was a dragon and a half-dragon by the name of General something that I do remember. Wynn would remember, Erin didn't write it down.
So you say General Runewelder.
Runewelder.
Do not mention what happened to Runewelder to the dragon.
So you see the Dragonborn's like, Tiberia Runewelder, I hope she died a painful death. And Representative Swan Virgil is like, calm yourself. So you're telling me that there were an army led by the Destined that attacked Stone Snarry?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were multiple generals, but it did seem like Runewelder was doing a lot of the leading.
She shouted, the Destined have failed us when she landed.
Or we have failed the Destined? I think maybe we were the ones that failed the Destined.
Swan Virgil asks you, what about Wormweather? Did he not mount an offensive?
Which one was Wormweather?
Wormweather's
the professor.
the
college?
mayor. Mm-hmm. He's the mayor.
Oh, Alistair Wormweather. Oh yeah, Alistair. Oh, Alistair was the one who did cut out a college student's heart and did try to do dark magic with it.
What a coward, Swan Virgil says. And you see the Dragonborn sort of steps forward and he's like, we must act now. We cannot wait for the Leadership Council Summit.
Okay, listen, I'm all for action because there's a lot of stuff going on here, but you need to tell me what's going on in Broken Rock and where my father is, and if you know anything about this Army of the Dead.
As you say Army of the Dead, you see the Dragonborn's face goes even more pale, and he looks shocked. Representative Swan Virgil stands and walks over to you and says, I'm sorry for all that you've suffered, Wynn. It truly is not my intention for you to feel this pain. And if the Army of the Dead has attacked and taken Stone Starry, then they are not of myth and a real threat. All will be handled in due time, but for now, I need you to trust that we have a way of doing things here in Broken Rock.
But to see that big pin on your chest leads me to distrust your words, sir. All due respect, I don't have a lot of great...
Do you say that?
Yes, no, yes.
Oh my gosh, so as you say that, your mother's like, Wynn, watch your mouth. This is...
Did you see a bunch of dark magic with a bunch of people in robes wearing the destined pin chanting about the death of a student? Did you almost get murdered by a half-dragon and the only reason you're alive is that your human friend shoved a potion down your gullet?
Were you robbed of an intern?
So
Wynn doesn't say that part.
As you say that to your mother, she looks at Representative Swan Virgil and she's like, I'm so sorry for her outburst. She doesn't understand how things work here. She's been gone a long time. Please forgive her.
How dare!
I just take like a deep breath and I practice putting all of my feelings in that box and pushing them down.
The only one who
The Martin money method.
Win is Win.
Representative Swan Virgil puts his hand on your mother's shoulder and he's like, it's okay. There's no need to be sorry. These are hard times, and there's a lot happening right now. A lot is at stake. He kind of turns around and takes a seat in his throne, and he looks at you and says, why don't you take some time to recover? The guard can lead you to your quarters, and we can speak more about this in the morning.
Again, I don't think there's time for a nap, sir.
As you say that, the guard captain comes over and he's like, Lady Snapdragon, I'll escort you to your room.
Bring me to my party's rooms.
Very well, as you wish. And he leads you away. Your mother stays in there to speak with the Representative Swan Virgil and the Dragonborn. So
I love my mom, but I'm not happy with her right now.
So you go to meet up with everyone, so you all come together. Your comrades are not with you, so it's just the four of you at the moment.
Great. Whose room is the biggest?
Probably Aria's, since she has a perch.
None of the furniture is on the floor.
That's fine. We meet in Aria's room. And I just, like, tell them everything. I'm, like, pacing back and forth as I'm, like, describing how I just yelled at Swan Virgil in the throne room.
I say to Wynn with this picture, like, disbelief on my face, like, is Churlish trying to be your new dad?
See, that's what I was thinking. Which makes me think he has a hand in this. Like, I always knew he was friends with my mom, but, like, your mom can have friends.
Yeah, mom should have friends.
This feels weird. And also...
He put his hand on her shoulder? We're just freaking out about it.
I take my hammer out and I say, do you want to go take care of him right now? I'll do
I
it.
mean, kind of, but I am worried my mom will try to ground me.
Oh, that would be awkward.
You're an adult.
Yeah, but also... Murdering an elected official without proof that they're doing something evil.
Have to murder him.
And
Bad.
I'll tell you this. My faith in elected officials wearing brooches has been severely damaged by all of our experiences.
Also true. Which I did try to impress upon him, and he didn't really seem to understand my distrust.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of suspicious vibes from this. So, Wynn, you were in the room. Like, how do you feel about this whole situation? Is there any movement on even how we would just begin looking for your dad?
They wouldn't tell me anything. My mom said that there were insurgents in the city who are moving against Swan Virgil, which frankly I'm on board with. She thinks they might have something to do with my father going missing, but when one of the guard captains said that they knew where an encampment of the insurgents was, and I suggested that might be where my dad is, they all dismissed me out of hand. So, well, yes.
My dad is dealing with the insurgents. I'm sure my mom knows where they went because they work together somehow. We'll get back to that.
I thought your dad was a
Guard.
blacksmith.
Yeah, turns out they moved here because it turns out I'm not from here. I'm from Cruella, and I had a temporary amnesia of there's so much stuff. So I didn't even get to address the fact that they moved cities without telling me. Yeah. So my dad and my mom are now part of the Royal Guard. My dad's all out there, like, trying to, like, deal with this insurgency. Anyway, long story short, I bet we can find out where this is.
Okay. Everyone kept telling me to take a nap. That's weird, right?
Super weird.
Yeah.
So, was your mom previously in a position of authority like this, where she was just, like, commanding legions?
I mean, she's always been in politics. My mom.
Okay.
Oh, Madie's mom? My mom's always been in politics. Both
mom,
my parents.
Wynn.
Yes. This is
Okay.
not, I mean, being called a lady and, like, being given rooms in this, what looks to be a palace. Weird.
Elaborately customized rooms? Yeah.
Yeah, very weird, very different. However, my mom has always been involved in politics.
Huh. When this is, I imagine you have some experience pilfering or / looking through files from your family's political career, or maybe grabbing a bottle from the cabinet when you're not supposed to be getting a bottle from the cabinet of the good stuff.
Do I get a feeling that anyone's listening in? Can I, like, do...
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. 14.
I feel like you all are fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna lean in and say, what if we did a document heist?
Yeah, I mean, I know how to slip around the city.
We're in a bureaucracy. If there's something suspicious going on, there's going to be paperwork for it.
I mean, always. I mean, the reason I'm so light on my feet is that my parents were involved with a lot of upstanding elected politics, and I was more of the sort of graffiti on the walls, run around the city at night.
Grassroots organizing.
Thank you. That's what I always called it. So, I do know my way around the city, and I have some sticky fingers.
Well, okay, so what's the priority here? Do we think we're going to find out information about where your dad is? Because if you think your dad is at the insurgent camp, I think we should go there first.
I mean, the truth is I don't know. I don't even know what they're rising up against.
And
my mom said that...
It's weird considering how long it took them to write you.
Yeah.
That he was taken, just given everything that's going on.
And that they didn't do anything about it, considering your mom's position of authority.
I almost wonder if your dad is rebelling on purpose. I don't know.
This might be a situation where getting a perspective outside of the palace could help. I could spread some money around. We could get some boots on the ground outside the city. We've got a giant window right there to the entire place of Aarakocra. It's vibrant as heck. Go to a tavern, we'll learn more than we would in hours here.
We could, but hold on a second. Wynn, do you still have that letter that your mom wrote you?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read it to us?
Yes, and I can read it exactly word for word because I'm holding the paper for what it said.
It said, you can summarize it that it said, your dad's been missing for 3 weeks, and we've searched for him but have been unable to find him. We hope that you and your friends can return to help us.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the piece that I was trying to remember. I thought that's kind of what it said. Very close to the gist that I remembered. The point of that is, okay, so your dad's been missing. We can't find him. We hope that you and your friends will come back. See, all of this feels really fishy. Like you said, Martin, we have these customized rooms, and my parents are here, except we don't live here, and I'm not really sure they're really my parents. I mean, they said my mom did know about the pimple on my butt, but, like, that's not the most secret knowledge ever. Let's be honest. So,
I mean, we've all seen your butt many times.
I mean, right. So, what if your dad's not really missing? What if your dad is, like, went off and is rebelling, and they brought us back because they think that he would come to find us to get us to fight on his side, and we're, like, the best fighters ever. So, like, if they can get us and neutralize us or whatever, get us on their side, then he can't get us. Have you had anything happen where you think that, like, maybe somebody's been trying to contact you?
Me?
Yeah. Like, could your dad have been trying to, like, get in touch with you in a way that you didn't recognize?
Oh.
See what happens when I take a nap?
Yeah, you're sharp as heck. I'm not thinking clearly. There's a lot of feelings going on right now. Normally the stuff that we do, I'm so impartial. Like, I care about the things that we do, but, like, it's not this close to home. It's not literally in my home. Yes, it is possible we are a bargaining chip, and I hadn't considered that. All the more reason to not stay here.
So what are our choices? We can go into the city and try to gather information there. We can go to the insurgent camp. We can try to heist your mom's documents, or just documents in general, wherever they're held here. What are we doing?
I think if we go to the insurgent camp and our misgivings about the situation are wrong, we can still justify having done that for a not treacherous reason.
I mean,
My
none of
dad's
this
there.
is treachery.
Oh,
The document.
it depends on
who's sitting on
side
that
you're
throne.
on.
I have a question for the GM. Would I still maybe have contacts in the city? Like, I was involved in grassroots organizing. Would
I was
still,
a monk
like,
here.
yeah, would we have, like, friends or contacts in the city that we could go to for more information, since my mom seems to be difficult?
Yeah, I think that all of the people that you worked with previously and the friends that you trained with and made around town are still here. You could definitely seek those people out.
Yeah, I mean, I
kind of want to go ask my master what he thinks of all this.
That's a good place to start. I think that going to the insurgent camp and being wrong doesn't necessarily mean we can leave. Like, if we show up and we're like, we think you're the good guys, and we're wrong, we just walked into their home base of operations.
I suppose I've been imagining looking for your dad and ghosting if he wasn't there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're being
Yeah.
attacked. Like,
have
my
lots of
dad and his crew are going to attack them. So
Today, right now?
I thought
Madie.
he left. He
That
left
is
to
a
go
s-
do it.
That was a solid point.
So wait, we're gonna be caught between a fight.
I
I
mean, if
take
we
back
go there-
my comment about wanting to do this.
If we go there, I'm not even sure he's my dad, just for whatever it's worth. I guess that doesn't really matter right now, but I'm mad about it.
But
Be mad.
You have every right
around
to
in
be.
chaos.
Take 3 golds.
That's your payment for being mad. I make a note in my ledger. Okay.
Listen, some people being open about their feelings deserves to be rewarded, and I don't. And
Hard for me.
my brain, for some reason, there's something that keeps bending my thoughts towards thinking of everything in terms of money and economics. I don't think it's healthy.
I think you should think about it. Maybe you should, like, try to figure out why you are this way, Martin. Do you think there's any way that you could do that?
That could be.
Might help.
I think you broke him. We'll worry about Martin's curse later.
Awesome.
I just make a note, like, way down the to-do list, like, check in on Martin's curse.
So, as Martin has a factory reset, what you all have brought up several things. What is the group going to do, or are you going to split up and do multiple things?
Don't
Not
split
gonna
the party.
I mean,
Not gonna
this
split up.
is a safer place to split up in that half of us, like, lived here. So, like, half of us have a hometown advantage. But I do agree, number 1 of the rule book says don't split up.
What do you want to do, Win? It's your,
Doesn't that mean that
this
we
is your-
should?
Break the rules.
Aria is so chaotic. Win.
My mom's not going to tell me anything. I do think we need to go into the city. I know your father's marching on the insurgent camp, but, like, I don't want to get caught between 2 warring armies right now.
Especially not before
Yeah.
we've picked a side.
Right.
I only wanted to go there because you thought maybe your dad was there. I mean, I want to find your dad. Like, that's
I
my
also
number
do.
1 priority. I don't care what's happening. Let's get your dad, get him safe, wrap him up in a little ball, and then figure out what else is going on. I mean, not literally. Let's just make him safe. Just
Just do it.
Thanks, matey.
Yes. I have lots of rope.
Okay. Aria, let's go to your monastery
Woohoo!
and check in with your master and see what their take is on the situation. And while on the way there, let me see if I can put some feelers out for some of my old friends.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now let's sneak out this window.
Whee!
Awesome. So you all sneak out of the palace through the window and head to the Order of the Feather Fist, the monastery, where Aria trained. So as you arrive there, it's a small village. There is a dojo where your master stays, Aria, and you know that he usually is in there. So do you all walk into the village to enter the dojo, or do you try to sneak into the dojo?
I'm feeling just walking right in. I don't know about you guys.
yeah.
Cool.
It's Aria's
I'll
home.
follow Aria's lead.
Awesome. So, Aria, you're leading the pack as you all walk into the village. You see some of
Can
the...
we roll perception as we're going?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I want to know if anything is different from the last time I was here.
I got a 21.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
So on your 21, you notice that there are a lot of students training and practicing out in the yard. You can see that there are some of the dojos that have the doors open, and you can see that there are some classes being held also. Aria, you don't see any of the people that you trained with, but you see that there are a few of the same senseis that you recognize from when you were here. And when you get to the door where your master is, you step inside, and she's kneeling down. He's kneeling down in front of a shrine where some candles are lit, saying a prayer. And he's also an Aarakocra, by the way.
Sick.
And yeah, he's wearing a black gi and has a white belt tied around his waist. On the back of the gi, you see there's a symbol of the Order of the Feather Fist. And he, as you walk in, he says, "My student, I'm so happy that you've returned."
It's good to be back, Master.
Yeah, so he finishes praying and stands. He walks over to you, and you see that you've been gone for some time, and your master is pretty ill. You see that he's quite old also. He walks up to you and says, "The time for action and decisiveness is now, my student. I need to show you something, and I'm glad that you've brought your friends here with you."
Is it related to the unrest that we hear is racking Broken Rock?
All things are connected. And he leads you behind his dojo into the woods.
I wait till he turns his back and then roll my eyes.
I whisper to Aria, "He's so wise."
What's this?
So
Never gives me answers.
you roll your eyes super hard, and he leads you through the forest to this clearing. And in the clearing, there is a small river, and there's a bunch of moss on these giant rocks. He turns to you, Aria, and he says, "Tell me, your friends and yourself, do you align yourself with the elected leadership?"
Here in Broken Roll?
Should we roll for insight?
You can if you would like.
Yeah. Yeah, I want
I
to know
feel-
what's going on.
I feel like I know this dude pretty well.
I think that you should roll insight with advantage. You've trained under your master for a while.
Okay, so that one, an insight check, is going to be 23.
Awesome. So on a 23, you feel like your master wants to make sure that he can still trust you.
Which means what?
Which way?
You feel like your master has some information.
She
that
rolled 23. Tell us which one he wants us to say.
he wants to tell you something, but doesn't want to say it if he feels like it's unsafe.
Do we trust the leadership at Broken Rock? Can I just like meaningfully look at the party? Like, shit, guys. What did I say?
Yes. Okay, I grab Aria and whisper in her ear. Tell him that you will follow him as you always have.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about telling him that we don't know yet. Which is
It's up to
true.
you.
And I feel like the honesty will go a long way with this dude.
I also feel like we serve what is good and just, which is just sort of a blanket statement.
Right. Okay. So I turn to my master, and I say,
I like that he watched us confer.
Yeah, he's just watching. He's not saying anything.
murmur. So I turn to him and I say, yeah, we have always done what is good and for the best in everyone. And we've just arrived, and we don't know that your leadership here does the same. I'm interested, Master, in your thoughts.
As you say that, you hear a voice from behind you say, "Then I'm happy that you're here." And as you turn around, you see Wynn's dad is there, and he is wearing a dark brown robe with a quiver on his back.
The dead-ass whole party starts dancing.
And you see there are a bunch of people in the trees, all with, they're all wearing similar garb to him. And he smiles at you, and he says, "Welcome home, daughter."
Oh,
And
Dad.
that's where we're going to end for today.
This should stop being so upsetting. And yet, every time...
Thank you
Are
all.
my parents gonna get a divorce?
Oh!
Find out next time. I don't know. Things are crazy. You got to see what
Broken
happens.
Rock, we're like Broken Home, am I right?
Thank
That
you
should be
all
the
so
episode
much.
title. That's the final piece of the episode.
Broken home, am I right?
There's a potentially broken home. The city of Stone Star has fallen. There's danger all around. What is going to happen to our heroes? Tune in next time to find out. Thank you so much for watching.